On a quiet weekend morning, when my husband usually would have gone out, he told me he had a young lover.
I'm serious. I want to make her happy. So sign the divorce papers with these terms.
What do you mean by this? I'm Mary, 53 years old. I married my husband, David, whom I met at a social circle for working adults when we were both 28. We were blessed with two children, our eldest son, Tom, and our eldest daughter, Olivia, building a happy family together. I've supported our home as a stay-at-home mom, while David runs a small local business. This year marks our 25th wedding anniversary. Our children have grown up and are now independent. However, it was around this time that I began to notice a change in David's behavior.
Mary, I got some emergency work today. I might come home late.
One morning, as David was having breakfast, he said this, "Okay, take care." I replied with a smile, offering him a coffee, and he hurriedly left the house. David's outings, which often occurred even on holidays. Initially, I trusted my husband without any doubts. However, as these excuses became more frequent, doubts began to grow in my mind.
I have plans with a friend today.
On a weekend meant to be spent with family, David once again excused himself to go out. Again?
Yeah, it's a commitment from before. Sorry about that.
David couldn't hide his slightly panicked expression as he spoke. I watched him leave without saying anything, but anxiety and suspicion grew as I saw his back. The next morning, as I was preparing breakfast as usual, I asked David when he joined me at the dining table. "Good morning, David. What time will you be home today?" After a moment of silence, he answered with an unfocused look in his eyes.
Well, I might be late today. There's an important project.
"It sounds tough, but take care of yourself," I said, tilting my head slightly. But that night, despite waiting, David did not return. I sent several messages to his cell phone as it got late into the night, but there was no reply. The next morning, David finally came home. "Where were you yesterday?" I even sent messages.
I was busy with the project and I stayed at the office last night. Sorry.
"I see. But you could at least let me know. It worries me.
Yeah, my bad.
Seems like you've been really busy lately. Is there a problem? Let me know if there's something I can help with." David gave a wry smile.
No issues. Just a bit busy. Sorry to worry you.
Though I smiled, I felt something was off with David's tired look and unusual responses. Deeply concerned by the drastic change in David's behavior, I chose to remain silent to keep the peace at home. However, David's outings and assertions continued to increase, and he returned home later, making conversation scarce. He might really be onto something. My suspicions only continued to grow. One day, while David was taking a shower, I happened to notice his smartphone. Normally, I wouldn't do this, but driven by an urge to find out more, I picked up the phone. On the unlocked screen, there was a message from an unknown woman named Emma. "How was today? I want to see you again." My hands trembled, and my heart ached. However, I chose not to confront him right there and decided to wait for more concrete evidence. I felt I needed something more substantial before saying anything. I continued to quietly watch David's actions thereafter. While feeling that the peace of our home was beginning to crumble, I still hadn't found the right way to handle it. Deep inside, I was conflicted, but desperately wanted to resolve this situation. One evening, Tom and Olivia came back to their childhood home. Although both are grown and independent, they still come back for family events, and everyone gathers together for meals. Then, Tom voiced a concern.
Dad, he's been saying he's busy lately, but is it really just work?
It feels like he's drifting away from home.
Olivia agreed and added, I've been worried too, but I didn't say anything because I didn't want you guys to worry. I could only agree with my children's words and told them the truth. That night, the family dined together for the first time in a while, but the conversation centered around David, and everyone's expressions were somber.
Mom, if there's a problem, we want you to tell us too. We're family after all.
Tom said earnestly.
That's right. If Dad is dealing with something, maybe we can help solve it together.
Thank you. We can't go on like this. I'll have a proper talk with David. I promised. Even though our children were adults and independent, the bond as a family was still deep, and it was comforting to see them seriously addressing the changes in their father. I was waiting for David's late return home again that day. The clock had already struck midnight, and the house was eerily quiet. Soon, I heard the sound of the front door unlocking, and David quietly entered the house.
Hi.
How was your day? You're late again today.
Yeah, I've been really busy lately. There are also work-related social commitments.
I see, but try to make some time to relax occasionally. Saying this, I took David's coat. Accidentally, a folded piece of paper fell from the coat pocket to the floor. As I picked it up, I casually unfolded it. The note, written in feminine handwriting, read, I had a great time today. I want to see you again. Love, Emma. I could hear David heading towards the bathroom. It was clear what this piece of paper meant. While anger and a sense of betrayal swirled within me, I decided to stay calm and think carefully about how to handle this evidence. I chose to store the note somewhere and plan my next steps. I decided to keep it quiet and hold on to it as evidence without saying anything. And I decided not to mention anything to David yet, and to further observe his actions. The next morning, I prepared breakfast as usual and sat opposite David. He seemed unchanged, reading the newspaper, but my heart was heavy with the weight of the message I had seen the night before. David, what are your plans for today?
Yeah, it's the usual. Anything up?
No, it's nothing. From that moment, I couldn't trust David anymore and just quietly began to plan my next move. On a typically quiet weekend morning, as I was making coffee in the kitchen, David suddenly appeared in the living room with a serious look on his face. David, what's wrong? You look so serious. After a moment of silence, he finally spoke.
Mary, please sit down.
As I felt my heart rate increase, I sat down on the sofa.
The truth is, Mary, I'm fed up with our mundane life together.
What do you mean?
Here's someone else I've been thinking about starting a new life with. I want to build a future together with her.
Someone else? David, does that mean?
It's Emma. We met through work and naturally grew closer as we worked on projects together. We really click in terms of our thoughts.
Emma, the young employee from that company you mentioned before?
Yes, that Emma. She's very bright and energetic and full of new ideas. We want to start a new business together, and we think the best way to do that is to live together.
After 25 years together, raising our children, I thought we were going to be together forever. Why?
Unfortunately, Mary, I can't be with you anymore. I want to start a new life with Emma. So, I want to cut ties with you. I want a divorce.
Filled with shock and sorrow, I was speechless for several minutes. Do you think you can just throw away everything about us, about our children, and be happy?
I'm serious. I want to make her happy. So sign the divorce papers under these terms.
David placed a piece of paper on the table. I took the document he handed me and began to read it quietly, filled with anxiety and tension. The document outlined the divorce terms David was proposing, which were disadvantageous to me. He intended to keep most of the assets for his new life with Emma, providing me only with a minimal monthly alimony. It also stated that our shared home was to be sold. My options were limited, and all I was offered was scant compensation for my past contributions and devotion. David, what is this?
I need funds for our future with Emma. You'll have to manage with this.
How am I supposed to manage on this amount? Are you saying our 25 years of marriage is only worth this much?
Yeah, that's about right.
You're telling me, a homemaker all these years, to go work and fend for myself?
Well, yeah, that's pretty much it.
You were the one who wanted me to be a homemaker when the kids were born, to support the family.
You did well all these years.
And you're selling the house too?
Yes, the paperwork is already done, so please move out soon.
What? What are you talking about? This is too sudden. What about the kids?
The kids are adults now and independent. They don't need us.
I can't accept these terms.
There's nothing I can do about that. Just accept it. I've already decided. I'm going now. Please file the divorce papers. Bye.
David, wait. This can't be happening. Anger welled up inside me, and soon it turned into tears. Just when I thought the kids were independent and we could finally spend time as a couple. The next day, I took a deep breath in the home office and picked up the phone. I dialed the lawyer's number and pressed the call button amidst my nervousness. Hello, this is Mary. Well, I need some advice. A calm voice from the lawyer came through on the other end.
Yes, Mary. What can I do for you?
My husband. He's involved with another woman, and I'm considering a divorce, but he's pushing very unfair terms on me.
Understood. Let's first get a clear understanding of the facts. Evidence will be crucial here.
Then, I went to the city office to submit the divorce papers. 25 years, gone just like that. A few days later, I visited the lawyer's office and provided detailed information about David and Emma's relationship that I had gathered.
These are very strong pieces of evidence. Based on these facts that David has hidden, we can negotiate the unfair divorce terms.
Thank you. I'm ready to fight this, for my kids and for myself. A few days later, I received further contact from the lawyer and headed to his office. Holding a document in his hand, the lawyer said,
Mary, we have uncovered new information. It has been revealed that David already has a kid with Emma.
What? A kid? Already?
Yes. From the birth certificate and their joint mortgage, this fact has been confirmed. This information will be a very advantageous point in your divorce proceedings.
He deceived us and even had a kid. It was an unforgivable fact. This will be a big blow to David, won't it?
Of course. This crucial information that David hid can be a reason to increase your alimony.
I packed my belongings and left the house I had lived in for a long time. I then decided to tell my children, Tom and Olivia, about it.
Mom, what's going on? Why are you here? What about the house?
I'm sorry to call you both like this. David and I are getting a divorce. He has someone else.
What? What do you mean? Tell us everything.
Mom, is that true? Why would Dad do something like that?
And also, it turns out he already has a kid in secret.
That's just terrible. It's unforgivable, even though you're here. What happened to our house?
David sold it on his own to fund his new business with her. They are planning to start a new business together.
And he kicked you out for that? I can't believe it.
Is there anything we can do right now? We're here for you, Mom.
Thank you. Just hearing you say that makes me feel much stronger. Actually, I'm consulting with a lawyer and preparing to legally fight this.
Mom, if there's anything we can help with, just let us know. Collecting evidence or anything to support you emotionally.
I was on the verge of tears from their words, filled with gratitude. Thank you, truly. It's reassuring to have you both with me. That night, we discussed our plans as a family. Olivia decided to use her research skills to handle gathering information online. Tom focused on organizing records of conversations with David. I headed to the kitchen to start preparing dinner. I'm so fortunate to have a family that unites like this. Tom and Olivia exchanged glances and smiled at each other. Later, we gathered as a family to do a final review of the evidence they had collected. Pointing at the laptop screen, Olivia said,
Look at this, Mom. These are photos Emma posted on social media. Lots of pictures of the new house and with the child, all presented like a happy family.
Emma had been updating her life as a glamorous influencer through her social media, branding herself as a wealthy mom struggling with childcare, frequently posting pictures of expensive interiors, her new house, and her happy family life. These posts were receiving lots of praise from her followers.
Can you believe the nerve? It's unforgivable.
Yeah, David's girlfriend is so young, Tom continued.
And here's the evidence that the house was sold. It's a copy of the contract. Both Dad's and Emma's names are on it. There's also information on the mortgage application for the new house.
Thank you, both of you. Let's pass all this to the lawyer.
But I just thought of something. Leave it to me.
What are you thinking?
Just trust me.
I didn't understand what Olivia meant. We have all the evidence we need. I will not forgive those two. One day, I unexpectedly ran into Emma at a cafe. Emma was cheerfully chatting with a friend in a corner of the cafe. And there she was, confidently holding her illegitimate child. I approached her calmly and politely. Emma, could we talk for a moment?
What do you want? Well, David's ex-wife?
Yes, I am David's ex-wife. Emma, I'm glad to see you're happy, but don't assume this happiness will last forever. He has betrayed a family once. He might do it again.
What are you talking about? You're an old lady. I'm still young. David wouldn't let me go.
Also, are you aware that the child you're holding was used to disadvantage me in our divorce? David hid the child's existence from me and presented very unfavorable terms.
What? What are you talking about, old lady? David was just fed up with his marriage to you. It has nothing to do with us.
No, it does matter. You and that child have influenced the terms of my divorce. You should be aware of that.
So what? We love each other. Whatever a person from the past like you says doesn't matter to us.
If there is love, that's fine. But don't forget what David has done in the past. There was love between us two, but in the end, I was betrayed. And not just me. You and that child might be treated the same way in the future.
That's just your sour grapes. It's pointless to target us.
But remember, you two will never find happiness. With those words, I left the cafe.
That old lady is so annoying.
I heard Emma's voice, but I didn't care. Those two will surely suffer from now on. We sat at the negotiation table, accompanied by our lawyer, in a tense atmosphere. The air was thick with tension. David confidently stepped forward and began speaking with arrogance.
As you can see, I'm moving forward to build a new family. Mary, I'll provide you with the bare minimum for living expenses. That should be enough. My new family needs more money.
David, I've been by your side supporting our family for 25 years. You've seen the children grow. Are you trying to settle all that just with some amount of money? Do you think that's fair? Tom stepped forward, confronting David.
Dad, do you really think this is okay? Betraying your family just so you can be happy?
Olivia joined forcefully.
Dad, are you really okay with destroying everything you've built up to now and just walking away unscathed? We can't just overlook what you're doing.
David couldn't hide his irritation.
I'm just pursuing my own happiness. Is there a problem with that?
The problem is that you're pursuing your happiness by ignoring ours, and in the process, you've hurt and used us.
We stand with Mom. Everyone should know how cruel you've been.
Here's all the evidence. Dad, your selfish plans are all documented here. If this goes public, you'll lose your social standing and everything.
As Tom and Olivia laid out the evidence on the table, David maintained his self-justifying demeanor.
Go ahead and try. I haven't done anything wrong. It's my life, my choice.
I took a deep breath and responded calmly. David, no matter what you say, the facts won't change. The evidence we have is enough to expose your actions to the public. David flinched for a moment, but quickly regained his composure and spoke more arrogantly.
Don't joke with me. I've always carved my own path. Do you think you can stop me now?
The discussion was far from being resolved. From now on, we will communicate through the lawyer here, so there won't be any need for us to meet again. Lawyer, please take it from here.
Yes, I will ensure a legitimate claim for alimony, so please rest assured.
I can't deal with this.
With those words, David stormed out. What a selfish person. I felt sad to think I had spent 25 years with someone like that. The next day, Olivia took action. She decided to leave a comment on Emma's latest post. Olivia responded to Emma's latest post with deep anger and disappointment, writing the following.
Emma, your posts always depict a perfect family life. However, don't forget the truth that my father, a small company owner, abandoned my mother after 25 years to start a life with you. My mother was coerced into agreeing to a divorce under unfavorable conditions. Moreover, the fact that there was already a child between you two was hidden, and he sold the house we had lived in for many years to build a new one with the money.
This comment quickly spread among other users and became a major topic of discussion. Many followers reacted to the post, and the debate over Emma and David's actions intensified. The media also picked up on the story, exposing David's personal life and his treatment of his family. So this was the good thing, Olivia mentioned. After Olivia's post, Emma's social media unexpectedly blew up, and she received a barrage of critical comments. Later, the lawyer reported that after lengthy discussions with David's representative, a final agreement on the alimony claim had been reached. The alimony was settled for significantly more than the amount initially proposed by David's side. This increase was considered in light of David's infidelity and the mental impact his actions had on me and our children. Regarding the division of property, it reflected the years I contributed to our home, resulting in an appropriate share of the shared assets being allocated to me, specifically more than half of the proceeds from the house sale and a portion of David's investment assets. I'm truly grateful for the lawyer who worked diligently on my behalf. When I told Tom and Olivia about it, they seemed relieved.
That's great. Now we can move on.
Mom, I'm excited about your new start.
It seems I can finally move forward. Meanwhile, after Olivia's post, Emma's social media unexpectedly went viral, flooded with critical comments. What used to be a mix of support and criticism turned into anger and condemnation, making her a target of criticism. Emma was staring at her smartphone screen in her living room. With each scroll, new critical comments were added.
Look. Hypocrite, homewrecker. How can they deny our happiness so much? I haven't done anything wrong. This is all Olivia's fault.
Emma still believed she was not at fault.
Olivia ruined our lives.
David vented to a friend over the phone. Afterward, the new business projects that David and Emma had planned was jeopardized due to the scandal. Due to their lack of credibility as individuals, sponsors began withdrawing their support, one after another. Emma and David had set up a new office together, but it was now devoid of activity and deserted. Emma had quit her previous job and put everything into this new project, but she was now facing the reality that her decision had backfired.
What should we do now?
We have to figure something out. But the future looks grim. We've lost sponsors and credibility, and we might have to look for new jobs.
My happy married life is falling apart. Afterward, David and Emma's new business project gradually lost support due to the scandal and eventually went bankrupt due to a lack of funds. The company and office were closed, and the once busy environment was now quiet. While cleaning up the bankrupt office, David sighed.
Everything is over. There's nothing we can do.
What are we going to do now? We've lost our jobs and have nowhere to go.
I don't know either. We have nowhere to turn.
Although they tried contacting several companies, the scandal resulted in them being turned away everywhere. However, Emma continued to be dependent on social media.
Why has this happened?
Emma muttered while updating her social media profile. The Emma in the photos on the screen was smiling happily, but in reality, she had dark circles under her eyes and looked gaunt.
Look, another new comment has come in. There are still people who support me.
What does that change? Reality won't change.
David coldly replied. As time passed, a clear rift developed between them. Unable to accept reality, Emma continued to escape into the world of social media.
At least on social media, someone needs me.
One night, David spoke, deeply troubled.
Emma, this is impossible. The happy world you've created on social media is different from reality. We're no longer wealthy like before. We have to find a way to survive.
But we still love each other, don't we? What's impossible?
Emma replied in surprise.
No, I don't feel anything anymore. I've decided to escape this fake life with you. I can't even pay the mortgage on this house anymore. I've decided to sell it, so please move out soon.
That night, David packed a small bag and left, placing a completed divorce form behind. In the end, David and Emma's marriage lasted less than 6 months. Emma, unable to sustain herself, went back to her parents' home. However, living there like a person with no job or duties, she was soon kicked out, and her parents took over raising her kid. Emma is now working at a supermarket. Meanwhile, David started working at a local factory during the day, living far from the wealthy life he once had, now in a shabby apartment. As for me, after the divorce, I decided to start working again. Having supported my family for many years as a stay-at-home mom, cooking was one thing I excelled at, because it had always been my way of expressing love. Tom and Olivia often come over to eat.
Mom, your cooking is really delicious. Why don't you post it on social media?
Do you think I can do it?
Sure, I'll help you.
Thus, I decided to capitalize on my strengths and find a new sense of self through cooking. Cooking was always for the family, but now I hope to bring joy to more people. I thought as I experimented with new recipes in the kitchen. I took a photo of the finished dish with my smartphone and decided to upload it to social media. It was a photo of cream pasta, which I am particularly good at making, accompanied by a description stating 53 years old, living alone, and a veteran housewife skilled in cooking. I captioned the photo, "Today's lunch is homemade cream pasta. Simple, but I'm confident in the taste," and uploaded it.
Looks delicious.
Please share the recipe.
The post quickly received reactions from followers, and comments poured in. Gradually, my follower count continued to increase, and I started a cooking blog. In the blog, I detailed the recipes of the dishes I made daily and the thoughts I put into my cooking. I also shared amusing stories about my experiences, including being 53 and divorced. The blog wasn't just about the visual appeal of the dishes, but themed around cooking with heart, which resonated with many. One day, I received a proposal to start a cooking class.
I want to learn directly from you, Mary.
A fan's voice initiated it. For my first class, I rented a local community center and decided to teach a simple menu. On the day of the cooking class, I greeted the participants with a nervous yet expectant expression. "Hello, everyone. Let's enjoy cooking together today." I explained the cooking process carefully.
I can't believe how easy it is to make delicious food.
At the end of the cooking class, participants expressed their admiration, and I too felt the joy of discovering a new side of myself. I could feel that my love for cooking was effectively conveyed to the participants. That night, I posted about the day's class on social media. Today's cooking class was supported by so many wonderful people, and I'm filled with gratitude. I hope to continue delivering joy through delicious meals.
Just as I thought, the taste of your meals and your kind personality are truly special.
I can't believe I'm capable of this. My days are so fulfilling now. Thank you. I'm having so much fun. This new challenge will prove its significance in my life in the days to come.